Okay, welcome to my garden tour on May 9th. So, right here I have some herbs that need to go in the ground. I've got some thyme, basil, dill, cilantro. My dill isn't doing too well, so I need to work on that, get some more seeded. This is one of my wicking tubs that I'm putting together, and I drill holes in the top and bottom of all these jugs, and then I drill a hole in the side of the container below the level of the top holes, and I cover it with landscaping fabric, then fill it with dirt. I also put one of those PVC pipes in it like that, and I will water it through the PVC pipe. Okay, and this is just potato that there is potato in there, but I mounded it a little bit over it, and my bucket of carrots, which is doing nicely. And I just got an opportunity today to get some nice soil with sand in it, so I'm going to plant some more carrots. This is my very yucky, hard, clay-like soil that came out of the ground there. You can see where I'm trying to make a hole big enough to plant my English cucumbers. They're doing so well, and those seeds cost $2 a piece, so I was very happy that they both germinated. And you can see a little peak growing up there. Also, I think the birds or somebody must have carried that seed over. And beside there I have some cabbage growing, and the cabbage came up along here, but it's going to have to be moved because I've learned that brassicas cannot be planted near a lot of things that I want in this area. So the cabbage is probably going to go in grow bags, and I just got some really good soil from my friend today, so I'll use that. And those are extra tomatoes that haven't found a home yet. I still don't have my beans planted there, but that's probably going to happen later on today, right along those that trellis, so it'll have a place to climb. I did get my tomatoes into my wicking tubs, and I put 2 tomatoes per tub. They're probably going to severely outgrow this tub, but they'll get enough nutrients because of the wicking system. And when I water through this tube, I'll put my fertilizer in there. And you see I planted some basil with each of the tomatoes, and my potatoes are doing beautifully, and I've hilled those up nicely. One thing I did when I hilled these up was I took all the paper from my shredder in the house and put that in the mix, and that just keeps everything loose in there, so the potatoes don't have to struggle to grow and expand. If they were in hard soil, you wouldn't get very big potatoes, and they'd have a difficult time. You can see that this bag has a lot of space yet, and as the potatoes grow, they will get mounded up higher yet. This one isn't mounded higher because of that little potato in there, just giving it a chance. But I could actually cover that with soil, and it would grow right through there to the top if I wanted to. Behind there you see my peppers. I have jalapenos and bell peppers that need to be planted, but I have to find a space for those yet, and they're actually doing very nice. And this is the beefsteak tomatoes. The first container was Early Girls, so I'll probably get my first harvest off of those. And the beefsteak, they are so nice for sandwiches and just slicing tomatoes. These are aromas, and they'll be nice for canning tomato sauce and tomato chunks. And I still have a few jars of last year's tomatoes, but the flavor is wonderful. But last year's tomatoes were more beefsteak, so they're very watery. So this year I want to have more meaty tomatoes for canning. You can see that my strawberry, my little soul strawberry plant's doing good. It's got berries on it. So Wish I had more of those. And over here my kale is growing nicely, and the little baby kale are coming up in there. And right beside it, the chard is just beautiful, and you can see all the tiny babies in there too. And pretty soon I'm gonna have some chard and kale together. This is my spinach that's growing up nicely. I'm going to probably, when I move my cabbage, plant some spinach with the cabbage because they grow nicely together. And that's my little lettuce bed. I'll have more of those too. And this is my other potato. It's really doing well. I mounded it up right to the top, and this bag is shorter, so it's only going to get a little bit of more soil in there, and that will be all the room it has to grow potatoes, so I won't get as big a harvest out of that one. Here I have my peas growing, and they're doing wonderfully. And you can see down here at the end, the ones that I started indoors are getting quite tall now. There were only 3 of those, but the others will catch up soon. And my beets. The beets are starting to make nice leaves, and you can see that the row of beets on the right are much bigger than the ones on the left. The row on the right were transplants, and the ones on the left were seeded in here, and both are doing really well. I'm so happy with my beets. And the nasturtium plant is doing really nicely. That will ward off the bugs and give some beauty to the garden. So my squash that's planted here underneath this trellis has not broken ground yet. And if it's going to, it will probably break ground this week while it's nice and warm, because they like to have warmth for germinating. And if not, I will start some squash probably this week in the house and plant it there. So anyways, that's how the main garden is doing right now. And over here I just have another pot of potatoes and my rosemary, and I'm pretty sure that's thyme growing in with the rosemary there. And all of my other plants are out of the greenhouse now. Now this black bucket on the left is the one I'm using to mix up my soil for my potatoes, because I don't put manure in the potato soil, but I put in some things, good things for the root formation, including some bone meal and some potassium. And yeah, last time I showed you my lilacs. They're still blooming. I've taken several in the house to make the house smell lovely. And the other day when I came outside, I also cut flowers over here to take in these beautiful red orange ones, which I can't remember exactly what they are, but they're almost like a rhodie, but they have a long stem, so you can cut them for growing in the house. I see somebody's been sitting out here and just enjoying the beauty. This is my little spot where I like to sit on the bench and read my Bible. But when I was back here the other day, I noticed that we have a second bush of lilac. So I cut some of those and took them in the house. These are irises that are coming up here, and peonies here, so pretty soon there'll be lots of color. Everything's growing nicely. And I would probably put some baskets over here with some foods that are more shade loving to grow. That might be my lettuces and spinach too. And this rhubarb was here, and It's getting quite big. You hear all the crunchy leaves, and you can see I raked all of the others, but not these. I'm using these for mulch as I go, but we have a huge tree that's coming down in our neighbor's yard, and I don't want to do any more raking until that happens, because there will likely be some cleanup for us at that time. Anyway, it's a nice warm day here, probably 82, but you can just get away from all that heat by coming out and sitting in the gazebo or anywhere out here in the garden. There's a nice breeze. So that's all for today.